Hi there. I'm a playful man. I'm at times a little bit loony, goofy, a little teasy, and some would say a bit sarcastic. I don't actually like that word. I don't want anything to do with it, actually. Sarcasm is a Greek word from which two words have been joined together. Sarx, which means flesh, which, by the way, is a clue about my new book, and chasm. Sarx and chasm, which means, well, you know what chasm means. Combined, those two mean deep pain, a torn apart chasm of pain. I know how that feels. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I know how long that lasts. So I prefer the word witty, which means clever with a touch of humor. I prefer that one. Anyway, but I'm not playful only. I'm not just loony without a cause. There's a cause to my play. Most of us are missing something. A lot of us are missing something, and I want it back. Thinking back to my childhood, everybody played with everybody on the playgrounds of my elementary school, middle school for that matter. Recess meant games and crazy stuff and play and frolicking galore. It was magnificent. It was the best image of humanity that I can think of even today. None of us cared about anything except playing together. We laughed and shrieked and giggled and burped. Well, some of us burped. There were some girls that could outdo me, actually. But we didn't really care about all that. We got along beautifully. We even sort of kid-style flirted back then. But we were playing together. That's what was important. The most common, least threatening, most effective introductory way to relationship and friendship was, you want to play? That question. We talked about everything and anything because we liked each other because we played together. Fast forward through middle school, high school, and college, and the wide, expansive fields of my friends were terribly diminished. We stopped recess. We stopped playing almost entirely. The demands of education, confined to the classroom, played the largest part in the sort of winds that, the wind that winnowed us apart, separated us. Almost, it felt natural, but it was so unnatural. Most of us, however, now do the winnowing, the separating ourselves by figuring out who we agree with before we'll play together. Education did that to us. Education absent play, without play, and the grace and the love and the fun that came from that. So, I have returned to the playgrounds. It's been going on for quite some time, actually. I know scads of people in my city through the grace of play. There's the beer maestro at the local big box liquor store who recently moved away, but not before I hugged him. He wasn't expecting it, but I did it anyway. And I told him how much I admired him and enjoyed him through the banter and blather of beer, of discussing beer over several years. He applauded, actually, my self-appraised beer tastes when we first met, and I answered his dignified, "Well, Ralph, what kind of beer do you like?" I said with a kind of an aloof smile, "Well, I'm a beer snob with a major dose of arrogance to go with it." To which he responded, as I recall, "Well, shouldn't you be by now at your age?" And immediately we were friends, instantly. And we talked a whole lot more than beer because of beer. There's the tattoo-laden, the tatted up, shaved and colored head gal at my gymnasium, along with a diminutive Hispanic gal, each of whom have playfully sparred with me for 2.5 years. I once entered the gym with my arms outstretched like this, and I exclaimed, "My people!" And now, almost instantly, that is the nickname that the tatted up one insisted that I have. Every time I now enter the gym or even leave the gym, they will shout it, "My people!" It's as if I have no other name. So, one day, as I walked in and scanned my little, thing, my document, so that they could identify me, she pinned my arm to the table, pinned it down with all the force she had, and her eyes piercing all the way down to my heart, demanded to know if I was a pastor. Yes or no? Just like that. And when I answered, pretty much, yeah, I'm a pastor type, although I'm not at a building right now, she then poured out hot an ancient rejection, how it had hit her from others just like me, she thought, who had rejected her because of her exterior appearance, not caring about the inside gal. And she said this to me: "You have been fascinated with my tats, my piercings. You even once helped me find one when it fell off my nose. Might have been out of her nose, as much as I know. But never once did you reject me. Always you have made me feel alive and normal. You're the first man of God to ever do that. Thank you. Thank you, Ralph." I cried right then and there in front of her, in front of the staff and the gym workout world. Everybody knew, everybody saw. And we've had incredible and meaningful conversations since then because we first played. We still play, and we still have great conversations that are meaningful now. Just yesterday, the staff, which now knows who I am, that I'm the man of God, but that I'm a safe man of God, they made me take a picture with them in a goofy hat. They pressured me into it. I resisted long enough so it appeared like I didn't really want to, but they knew we can get him to do almost anything. He loves us. And here you go. Here's the picture. What do you think of that? Then there are the two gals who work at the post office annex in a local Ace hardware store, who messed with me every time I ship copies of my books. That's a lot, as you can imagine. I have been successfully playing with them for, I think it's a decade now, probably 10 years. And I make helpful comments when I'm in line with other people, like, "Gosh, service is so slow." And the people around me, of course, are shocked, and they behind the counter have to do something with it. They know the game is on. Sometimes, there was a time they left their post, they've done it a couple of times, and they put up their "We're closed" signs at both of their lines, and there were no other lines. So the customers were all looking around like this, like, what are we going to do? Then after the joke, the moment had aged a bit, they returned to their positions smiling and blamed everything on me, of course. Our play is famous. They even one time offered to call the cops, and they looked serious when they were doing it. Everybody knows we do this now. We have spectators, especially during the holiday crush. But those two women have come to know all about my daughters. One of them recently, just a couple weeks ago, asked, have any of them come home yet to dry your tears, Daddy? That's pretty good. Another time, one of them asked about my wife. She must be amazing, but maybe a little bit slow, a little dumb maybe, to have married you. And there was another time when one of them asked, how are sales? Are people getting the message? They know me. I know them. And I told them, yes, actually, they are getting the message. They were delighted. Okay, enough. But do you see what I'm getting at? I'm not gifted or talented in this. I like people on the playground. Some of my most enduring friendships, the longest ones I've got, began there. Some of them that I met out on the playground many decades ago made it into my new book. They're actually in the book. I told them about it too and got their permission. Some of my friends from back on the playground days grew up and became loony liberals and uncaring conservatives. They got married and divorced and married again and even again. Some of them like cigars and burn your mouth out single malt scotch. I can't understand that. Some of them don't know Jesus at all, but they'll talk with me because they know I don't demand anything from them. I don't want anything from them. We met on the playground. Sarah and I have, by the way, several people that we just met joining us for Thanksgiving Day. They have no idea how much fun they're going to have. But Sarah and I do. We're going to play. If this seems shallow and silly, I suppose it is, or at least it began that way, but it isn't now. I want people to know Jesus more than anything. I haven't found anything better to give them. I care about them. I want them to have him. So you must know that if you hang around me long enough, no matter how playful I come across, you're going to figure that out. Jesus thinks that he is the cure for all of them, the cure for what ails them, the cure for what bothers them, the cure for what stumbles them, the cure for what struggles them. And I can tell you, I agree with him. I know he is all that. And that ought to be good, and that ought to be fun for them. Jesus is. So they've got no reason to fear him. I know that, but they don't know that. Not yet, anyway. I think they can better discover that, at least to begin with, out on the playground. I want to encourage you then to go back out onto the playground and have fun with people. Actually enjoy them. Some I know will be sort of flash in the pan people. I know, and they won't last for more than a meeting or two, but so what? That's okay. You're not trying to hold on to them and make something happen. You're not the grand orchestrator. You're simply playing, and a lot can happen from there. So enjoy the playground, especially this coming week. Enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. See you later.